Let's see how to fill up the intraday trading transactions in your income tax return, that is ITR-3. Here is the list of details of the intraday transactions that have been entered into by the taxpayer. The taxpayer has entered into 4 intraday transactions. Now the first thing to do is to calculate the net profit or loss from the intraday trading. So let's quickly first calculate the profit or loss from each of the transactions. On the first transaction, selling amount is 98,400 and the purchase amount is 81,100. Profit is 17,300. In the second transaction, the selling amount is 53,420 and the purchase amount is 23,240. And thus, the profit here is 30,180. Likewise, we calculate the profit or loss for the third and fourth transaction as well. Now, once we have calculated the total profit or loss from each of the transaction, we'll then calculate the entire profit or loss incurred in the intraday transactions. And that would be 30,070. So the first step has been calculated. Now we calculate the turnover from the intraday trading transactions. The turnover here again would be calculated for each of the individual transactions separately. And the turnover for each of the transaction would be the absolute value of the profit or loss earned in that transaction. Now let's see what does this mean. In the first transaction, the profit that was earned was rupees 17,300. And thus the turnover for that transaction would also be 17,300 only. Likewise, we'll be calculating the turnover for all the profitable transactions. Now, in case of transactions in which we have incurred losses, here again the turnover would be the absolute value of the loss incurred. Thus, in case of third transaction, the turnover would be 8,175, which means we'll simply be ignoring the negative sign. Likewise, we do it for the fourth transaction as well. And the turnover for the fourth transaction would be 9,235. 64,890. And thus, step 2 has also been calculated. Now, one important thing to note in case of intraday trading transactions is that any incomes or losses that are earned from intraday transactions are to be treated as speculative business income. Yes, you heard that right. Any income or loss we earn from the intraday transactions is to be treated as a business income. And to be very specific, it is a speculative business income. The reason why I am stressing on the word speculative is because this type of income is to be disclosed as speculative business income in the income tax return also. Yes, there's a separate space to disclose the speculative income in the income tax returns. Let me show you how you would disclose this income in the income tax return. Let's quickly open the income tax offline utility. Now once you click open the Excel based utility, first fill in the part A of the general schedule. That is this one. This contains the personal details of the taxpayer, such as the name, bank account details, date of birth, PAN number, the residential address, the contact details, and one more additional option to choose from the old tax regime or the new tax regime. Once you fill up this schedule, we then move to the profit and loss schedule. That is this one. Click on this, and in case you do not maintain proper books of accounts, then scroll to the bottom. That is to serial number 65. In Roman 1, we'll be mentioning the turnover from speculative activity, since intraday trading activity is a speculative business activity. We mention it here. And the profit. In case there are additional charges or expenses that you have incurred in relation to this activity, you can mention it over here in Roman 3. In case not, simply put 0. After mentioning the details of the profit and loss account schedule, make sure you also fill the Part A of the balance sheet. Yes, you need to fill this out too. In case you do not maintain proper books of accounts, scroll to the bottom and make sure to fill up serial number 6. That is the amount of sundry debtors, creditors, stock in trade, and the cash balance with respect to the intraday trading business. However, if you maintain proper books of accounts, then in that case, after filling the Part A of the general schedule, move to the trading account schedule. That is this one. In the trading account schedule, move to the bottom to serial number 12. Here in serial number 12A and 12B, we'll be mentioning the turnover as well as the income from intraday trading. And the income. Now, in case if we had a loss instead of a profit of rupees 30,070, then we would have mentioned in the similar manner, just with an additional negative sign. That's it. So, in case of loss, you just need to mention the additional negative sign. So, this is how you report intraday trading income or losses in ITR 3.